Change your mindset, change your life. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Jim Rohn once shared this simple but powerful idea, and it carries one of the deepest truths about success and personal growth. Most people wait for life to change. They wait for better opportunities. They wait for better conditions. They wait for the right moment. But life rarely changes on its own. Because change does not begin in the outside world. Change begins in the mind. If your mindset stays the same, your life will stay the same. If your thinking stays the same, your results will stay the same. Everything starts with the way you think. The way you think about work. The way you think about money. The way you think about discipline. The way you think about yourself. And once your mindset changes, your decisions change. Your habits change. Your actions change. And eventually, your entire life begins to change. Jim Rohn believed that success is not something complicated. Success is a simple process of becoming a better person every day. And becoming a better person always begins with one decision. The decision to change your mindset. One of the most powerful ideas Jim Rohn taught is that your mindset controls your direction in life. Not your background. Not your past. Not your circumstances. Your mindset. Because two people can live in the same city, work in the same company, and face the same challenges, yet end up with completely different lives. Why? Because they think differently. One person sees opportunity. The other sees difficulty. One person takes responsibility. The other makes excuses. One person grows. The other complains. The difference is mindset. Jim Rohn often reminded people that you cannot change your destination overnight. But you can change your direction overnight. And when you change your direction, you begin to move toward a better future. Your life is a reflection of your thinking. If you think small, your life becomes small. If you think big, your life begins to expand. This is why changing your mindset is the first step toward changing your life. Lesson 1: Take responsibility for your life. The first mindset that Jim Rohn believed everyone must develop is responsibility. Taking full responsibility for your life. He once said that successful people take responsibility, while unsuccessful people look for someone to blame. This is one of the biggest mindset shifts a person can make. Because the moment you start blaming your boss, your family, the economy, or your situation, you give away your power. You become a victim of circumstances. And victims rarely succeed. But the moment you take responsibility, everything changes. You begin to see that your future is in your hands. Your income depends on your skills. Your growth depends on your effort. Your success depends on your discipline. Jim Rohn taught that you must take charge of your life like a captain takes charge of a ship. The wind may blow in any direction. The storm may come unexpectedly. The ocean may be rough. But the captain still controls the direction. In the same way, life will not always be easy. There will be problems. There will be setbacks. There will be challenges. But your mindset determines how you respond. If you take responsibility, you move forward. If you blame others, you stay stuck. This is why responsibility is the foundation of a successful mindset. Because the moment you say, "My life is my responsibility," you take back control of your future. Lesson 2: Change your thinking. The second mindset Jim Rohn believed in is the power of changing the way you think. He often said, "Work harder on yourself than you do on your job." This idea is simple, but it carries deep meaning. Most people spend years working hard at their jobs. They wake up early. They go to work every day. They put in effort. They try to earn more money. But very few people work on themselves. They do not read. They do not study. They do not improve their thinking. They do not develop new skills. They do not grow mentally. And this creates a problem. Because your income rarely exceeds your personal development. Jim Rohn believed that if you want a better life, you must become a better person. Not wish for better opportunities. Not wait for better conditions. But become better. Better in thinking. Better in discipline. Better in knowledge. Better in attitude. When your thinking improves, your decisions improve. When your decisions improve, your actions improve. And when your actions improve, your results begin to change. This is why changing your mindset is more important than changing your job. Because when you improve yourself, everything around you begins to improve. Your confidence grows. Your vision becomes clearer. Your opportunities become bigger. And slowly, your life starts moving in a new direction. Jim Rohn believed that personal development is the foundation of success. Because success is not built outside first. It is built inside. Lesson 3: Discipline creates freedom. The third mindset Jim Rohn taught is discipline. He once said, "Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day." Discipline is not something dramatic. It is not something complicated. It is simply doing the small things consistently. Waking up on time. Reading every day. Working on your goals. Improving your skills. Managing your time. Small actions repeated daily create powerful results. But many people misunderstand discipline. They think discipline is restriction. They think discipline takes away freedom. But Jim Rohn believed the opposite. Discipline creates freedom. When you are disciplined with your money, you gain financial freedom. When you are disciplined with your health, you gain physical freedom. When you are disciplined with your time, you gain control over your life. Without discipline, life becomes chaotic. Without discipline, opportunities are wasted. Without discipline, potential is lost. Discipline builds structure. Structure builds progress. And progress builds success. Jim Rohn often reminded people that failure is not a single dramatic event. Failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. In the same way, success is simply a few disciplines repeated every day. This means your future is built by your daily habits. What you do today matters. What you repeat today matters. Because discipline, practiced every day, slowly transforms your life. Lesson 4: Surround yourself with the right people. The fourth mindset Jim Rohn believed in is the power of environment. He famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This idea is one of the most powerful truths about personal growth. Because people influence your thinking. They influence your habits. They influence your standards. They influence your beliefs. If you spend time with negative people, you begin to think negatively. If you spend time with lazy people, you begin to lose discipline. If you spend time with people who complain, you begin to complain. Environment shapes mindset, and mindset shapes life. Jim Rohn believed that success is not only about working hard. It is also about choosing the right environment, choosing the right friends, choosing the right mentors, choosing the right influences. Because the people around you either push you forward or hold you back. There is rarely a neutral environment. Every environment is shaping you in some direction. This is why successful people protect their environment. They spend time with people who think big. They listen to people who inspire them. They learn from people who have achieved success. And slowly, their mindset begins to grow. Because when your environment improves, your thinking improves. And when your thinking improves, your life improves. Lesson 5: Invest in yourself. The fifth mindset Jim Rohn believed in is self-investment. He once said, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune." This idea changed the lives of millions of people. Because most people stop learning after school. They stop reading. They stop studying. They stop growing. But Jim Rohn believed that learning should never stop. Because the person who learns more earns more. The person who grows more achieves more. The person who develops more becomes more valuable. Books change thinking. Knowledge creates opportunity. Learning builds confidence. And confidence creates action. Jim Rohn believed that one book can change your life. One idea can change your future. One lesson can change your direction. This is why investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make. Money invested in yourself brings the highest return. Time invested in learning creates the greatest reward. Because when you grow, your life grows. When you improve, your future improves. And when you invest in yourself, success becomes a natural result. Change your mindset, change your life. In the end, changing your mindset is not about making one big decision. It is about making small decisions every single day. The decision to think better. The decision to act better. The decision to grow a little more than yesterday. Jim Rohn believed that life rewards those who take responsibility for their own growth. Not those who wait. Not those who complain. Not those who hope for luck. But those who work on themselves every day. Because mindset is not something you change once. It is something you build daily. Every book you read shapes your thinking. Every lesson you learn strengthens your mind. Every discipline you practice builds your future. And slowly, almost quietly, your life begins to change. You become more confident, more focused, more disciplined, more aware of your direction. And one day, you look back and realize that your life is no longer the same. Not because of luck, not because of opportunity, but because you change. Jim Rohn often reminded people that success is a process. A simple process. A daily process. A personal process. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to keep improving. You do not need to change everything overnight. You only need to take one step at a time. Because small improvements repeated every day create extraordinary results over time. This is the quiet power of mindset. It works slowly. It works consistently. And it works for anyone who is willing to grow. Your future is not determined by your past. Your future is determined by the person you decide to become. And the moment you decide to become better, your life begins to move in a new direction. Jim Rohn once said, "Success is something you attract by the person you become." This may be one of the most powerful ideas he ever shared. Because it reminds us that success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract. You attract success by becoming disciplined. You attract success by becoming responsible. You attract success by becoming knowledgeable. You attract success by becoming focused and consistent. In other words, success is a natural result of personal growth. So if you want a better life, work on yourself. If you want more success, improve your mindset. If you want a stronger future, build stronger habits. Because everything begins in the mind. Change your mindset. Change your direction. Change your daily actions. And eventually, you will change your life. Take responsibility. Practice discipline. Choose the right environment. Invest in yourself. And keep growing every single day. Your future is waiting for the person you are becoming. And that journey begins with one simple decision. The decision to change your mindset.